One of the things that we've seen through the course of the pandemic, or a side effect of the pandemic for businesses, whether it's aviation or travel and hospitality, it's just not that aspirational for people to want to work in these industries, given what we saw happen through the course of the pandemic. Is that
getting a lot better.
For you?
By the way, that's been a challenge for time and eternity. I've been in this industry a long time, 40 years or so, and that's been an industry issue, which is people in many cases look at other industries as more aspirational, whether that's technology or venture capital or things that I always say, like, suck all the oxygen out of the room, and they don't think about our industry as having the diversity of opportunity and the upward mobility that it does. I mean, my first job was basically plunging toilets at hotels. I run one of the biggest companies on earth. I'm a testament to the idea that you can have upward mobility. And there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of stories of team members in our ecosystem, let alone all the other players in the industry that started out in frontline jobs that now run businesses, big, every hotel's a big businesses, and have grown and learned and evolved and had tons of upward mobility. So it's one of the things we've been trying to do as an industry for many years is make sure people understand the opportunities, the complexity of the business, the intellectual opportunity, the growth, the upward mobility, and the opportunities as an industry that's not just large, but one of the fastest growing industries, not during COVID, but broadly one of the fastest growing industries on earth. I mean, we're 1 in 10 jobs in the world, travel and tourism, 1 in 5 new jobs, 10% of global GDP, one of the top 5 pre-COVID growth industries in the world. And so there's all sorts of opportunity. We have been trying, and I think doing a pretty good job of getting that message out. COVID didn't help. Okay, COVID, scared everybody in a lot of ways, but it was particularly painful in travel and tourism. But we're to the other side of COVID. And the nice thing is I think people are coming back in the industry and have a really good attitude about it. Part of that's driven in some parts of the world, or some of the industries that were sucking all the oxygen out of the room are not doing as well. And people are losing jobs at mass, tech companies, banking, venture capital, and the like. And so, some of the blooms are off some of those roses in a way where people maybe are a bit open-minded. And so we're seeing things normalize in terms of our ability to attract talent on a global basis. Every market's different. We're in pretty good shape. Corporately, we really have no issues attracting talent. We're the #2 great place to work in the world, so we have an unbelievable culture. And on the front line, it was difficult during COVID for sure, and coming out of COVID, but we're getting there. We're not all the way back. Every market's different, but I'd say we're largely back to where we want to be. Not quite, but almost.
Speaking of opportunities, and I want to talk to you about the kind of product innovations, adjacencies that you are looking at. Some of your competitors are looking at things like yachts, etc.
Yes.
What are you looking at?
Well, listen, we look at all of the adjacencies as a means to an end, and the end is that we want our customers to have in the relationship with us, to be engaged and concentrate their spend with us. And we do that generally through Hilton Honors, through our loyalty program. And so we look at a lot of different things that we do that are not the core business to continue to further that engagement, to get higher and higher levels of loyalty, and thus bigger share of wallet. And we've, I think, done a really good job. We have lots of partnerships with like Live Nation, with Amazon, different partnerships in different places around the world, in a way that have kept our customers engaged. And I think as a result of all of that, we have the highest level of occupancy represented by loyalty members of anybody in our business on a global basis. Every market may be a little bit different, but on a global basis, we lead the industry. And so what our customers are saying to us is, what you do in terms of the product, the service, the different brands that you have, as well as some of these partnerships and ways that you allow, you recognize our loyalty to your business, are working, and we're staying very, very engaged with you. We'll continue to look at other adjacencies. I sort of was brought up in the basic tenet, right or wrong, which served me pretty well. It's like, know the business you're in and be really good at it and stick to it and try not to get distracted. And so a bunch of those adjacencies we haven't pursued because we view them as distractions, and we've found other ways to have to keep our customers engaged. And so far, they're more engaged than most of our competitors' customers are.
So, would M&A be a strategic distraction that you're willing to take on at this point in time?
If history is any indicator of the future, probably not. I've been at the company almost 16 years. I used to be an M&A person, and so I like M&A. I know how to do it, and we've done none of it. And so I don't think it's likely that, and that's because we've had really good success in growing the company organically by not just adding brands or adding hotels with owners in different parts of the world to broaden our network effect, but adding brands. I mean, when I got to the company, we had 9 brands. We have 21 brands. We've launched every one of those organically. Why do I like that better? Because my own view is we can deliver more on exactly what the customer wants, and from the standpoint of a modern approach to meeting customers' demands, because we custom design each of those brands at those incremental price points that we add exactly the way that we think they want it, because we're in constant interaction with our customers. And so I would be remiss in not saying on CNBC what I say everywhere I go. Never say never, but I think it's unlikely. I think our track record's really good. I think it's fair to say nobody's developed more brands than we have, done it well, and all our brands are very high performing. So our customers are saying they like the way we do it.
So if M&A is off the table, what else is sparking interest, pun intended?
Sparking interest? Well, Spark is sparking interest. We're in India. I don't see us bringing Spark to India soon.
Why not?
I just don't think we're ready for it here at Hilton. The market at some point may be ready for it, but we're certainly launching it in the United States. My guess is it will be off to Europe in the not too distant future. I honestly believe, and I'm sure our competitors would have a counterpoint to this, time will tell who's right. I think I'll be right, but I think it's probably the most one of the simpler things we've done, but one of the most disruptive things we've done, because we're playing in a space which we haven't played in, that being economy or premium economy, but we're doing it in a way that really there is no brand that can offer the customer what we're going to offer, which is a very consistent level of product and service, because by definition, if you go look at the biggest economy brands in the world, no matter where they are, it's a very high beta experience in terms of the physical product. We're going to grow this brand very quickly. It's going to get to scale, and every single hotel to get through the gate has to do the base renovation to touch every customer-facing piece of this property. And so when customers walk into a Spark, it's going to be a Spark. It's going to be clean, neat, refreshed in every element of what they experience in that hotel. Nobody else can really do that. And so we believe that a customer, even at that price point, using the U.S. as sort of the first market, at a $70 to $80 price point, customers deserve to be able to have a great stay. And we're going to give it to them.
Mr. Nassetta, it's been an absolute pleasure. Many thanks for joining us here on CNBC-TV18 on the Global Dialogue. We look forward to having you back here in India.
Sounds great. Great to be here. Thanks again for having me.
Well, that's it then on this edition of the Global Dialogue. We'll see you again next week. Till then, from all of us here on the team, goodbye and many thanks for watching.